So the key to day trading, really any type of trading, but particularly I'm going to talk about day trading here, is to really outline the highs and the lows and be able to take a look. And when I say the highs and the lows from the previous session, and take a look when you have a breakout. So if we go, and I want to stay with the 1 minute chart here, I've already taken a look at things on a longer term time frame. So this happens to be snow, could be anything. And you can see I have my lines that I have drawn from many different sessions now because I've day traded this thing multiple times. So this over here to the left was yesterday's session. And then this light gray part is the after hours. So I'll take a look and I will outline the highs and the lows for the pre-market session during the after hours section. And then I'll come over. So that way, when I take a look and I say, okay, this was the top of the market. And when I starts to break above that, that tells me chances are I'm going to go long the stock. So when I take a look here, let me back out a little bit. So I was trading the market. I was trading snow to the upside for a great part of the morning. Probably for the first 3 hours of the morning, I was day trading it to the upside. And then I started to see, and this is why it's important to do multiple time frame analysis. As it reached this height right here, about almost 147, you can see back here from the previous sessions, that was a high point. So when it got here, I watched to see if I was going to get some bearish candlesticks, and I did, got some bearish candlesticks. And then I started to see the moving average start to flatline. I don't wait for the cross down when I'm day trading because then it'll be too late, but I waited for it to flatline. And I knew that the resistance area was right where it's at right now. And I thought, you know what, I'm taking my profits. And then I switched over and I started trading it to the downside. And then when it hit a bottom, what looked to be a bottom, and you can see my MACD down here at the bottom started crawling up. And I knew this was a bottom, not only from this session, but also again, from the previous session. If you take a look over here on the left-hand side, this told me this was a support area. So it was a support area combined with my MACDs and everything starting to move up, my candlesticks showing a bullish indication. So I started trading it to the upside. Now watch this. You can easily get caught up in trading one direction, but you have to be nimble. So I saw it pull up. It started getting close to this area here. I saw a big red candlestick. I thought I'm exiting my position and taking profits. Stayed in cash. It hit what seemed to be another bottom, making the start of, if you take a look at this, the start of higher lows. So I thought, okay, we're going to be bullish for the session. So I went long again, and I noticed that it had problem reaching this particular height, which gave me concern. I thought, let me take profits on that session. So I had made a couple of bullish trades here, and then I just kind of sat on my hands because it wasn't clear what was going on. And then as I started to see, you start to see, look at this. Here's the high. Here's a lower high, which is bearish. Here's another lower higher, confirmation of bearish. So then I started to see consolidation. I'm looking over here at the markets, and at the time it was like 200, increasing to 250, increasing to 300. So I saw the market, wow, the market's sinking, and snow here is a technology stock. So my trend is starting to go to the downside. So I thought, well, I'm going to wait for it to run up, touch, see if it can touch make another run to touch the resistance area, and then I'll go short. I'll go long the puts, and that's what I did. And I did it right about this area here, timed it almost perfectly, and then you can see here it dropped. And I just got out of the trade to the downside. It's probably going to drop more, and I should probably hold it because look at this. It just broke the trend for the day. So if you take a look at your lines, that's why it's important to take a look and draw your lines as you're looking at this. It just broke. So this is now a resistance area. It never made it above this. It was always creating lower highs. So that caused me to go ahead and go switch directions and trade it to the downside. Right now, I'm waiting, sitting on my hands. I may take another position here shortly, but I want to see what it does here. If it runs up to this area here, I'll go ahead and I'll buy puts one more time to close out the market. But that's what you do during the prior to the markets. It's important to draw the highs and the lows of the previous session, the highs and lows of the pre-market session, and then take a look to see how the rest of the market is doing, and that's how I'll make my trades. So being able to box in certain areas, doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if your lines are different than my lines, long as you're following your rules, you're connecting the dots the best that you can, and you're making your decision based on key areas of support and resistance that you see. So for example, here, going back to this situation here, when I got into this trade here, my risk was low because my discipline tells me if it breaks above this area that I had drawn out before, which is a key pivot point, I would close out the trade and take a small loss. And look at this as we're breaking to the downside. Chances are this is going to finish the market. So right now we're up 4 points. We were up 12 points to the upside. So it gave me a lot of opportunity. I think I wouldn't be surprised if snow ends up in the red before the day's done. So I'll take a look at this. I may use this as my resistance area, see if it tests this area one more time, take a shot right there by going long the puts. And if I'm wrong on the trade and it breaks above this area, I'll close it out. But if it does what I think it's going to do and ends up red or even close to red, giving up most of these gains here, this will be a very, very green trade for me. So good luck to everybody, and I'll catch you guys next time.